All right, so now you're three-quarters of the way through the class. And by now, you should be looking at the at the end zone, at the finish. Only 2 weeks left, and we'll have a big project this week, but then next week should probably be fairly easy. So let's finish strong with this. We are into Module 7, and let's look at the introduction here. We have one more chapter we're going to have to review, but we're going to describe the techniques and tools used to analyze financial statement information, basically using ratios, illustrate basic financial statement analytical methods, assess liquidity, solvency, and profitability using financial statements. So we're going to look at the financial statements. We're going to create ratios, and we're going to compare those ratios over time and also ratios with other companies similar to our companies. And then that will give us some clues as to how the company's doing. The assignments for this week, of course, is to review the resources, complete the problem set assignment as usual, and then submit your completed course project. So this is the big one here. Resources, financial analysis. You have a financial ratio analysis where it'll talk about the different ratios. If you need some clarification from the book, I recommend reading this video or watching this video. It's only 10 minutes, doesn't take that long, and hopefully will provide more concrete information. We're going to be looking at chapter 14, and that is financial statement analysis. You have what's called horizontal analysis, vertical analysis. Horizontal would mean really from year to year. Vertical analysis would be really looking at different profit ratios, gross profit margin, operating profit margin, net income margin, et cetera. See how those have changed over time. If your gross profit margin is rising, that means you're making more off of what you're selling, and that's a good thing. Looking at inventory, how quickly do you turn over inventory? You don't want to be caught with too much inventory because then you'll have to discount it. That hurts your profit margins. And then you got different ratios for how well are you using your assets, what is your return on your shareholder equity, PE ratio, which is really one of the main indicators of a stock's long-term value. It may not be efficient at every point in time, but the stock market looks to see what the earnings are going to be. And the stock market is a forward indicator, so it tries to anticipate what's going to happen 6 to 9 months down the road. And usually they're looking at how is what's going to happen going to impact your earnings. And then price earnings ratio is really what determines how expensive a stock is. If you've got a high growth stock, like say a company like NVIDIA, then you're going to have a much higher price earnings ratio. NVIDIA may have something like a ratio of 54. If, on the other hand, you're a company like Walmart, who's huge but not expected to grow quickly, you may have a PE ratio of 42, 43. So so it's also reflective of what the market thinks your growth rate is going to be. A higher price earnings ratio means the market thinks you're going to grow quicker. And if you do grow quicker, that's good. But if you don't, then a stock with a high PE can drop fairly quickly. So you'll go over this chapter. This is the last chapter in the book. So next week you don't have a reading in that. And you'll have problem set just like every other problem set. And then you'll have the company accounting workbook. For your project submission, build on the work you have done for your milestones and complete the financial statements for the company in the project scenario. You submit your company accounting workbook and a separate report summarizing your analysis of the company's financial statements. Your submission should be a complete, polished artifact reflecting the incorporation of feedback gained through the course. So you need to do this in a professional manner. You should write this as if you are writing to the CFO of a company. And you shouldn't go, well, I think, or, I did this analysis. It should be more based on my analysis of the company. And so you need to take out any, individual, like you're talking to a friend. You should be writing this as if you're talking to someone, again, like a CFO. So you're recently hired as an entry level bookkeeper, the first month of operation. You're going to record the business transactions for the first month. You have your accounting workbook, and so you're going to record the financial data. Use the instructions below to complete your workbook. Specifically, you must address the following, okay? Record financial data. Use accepted accounting principles to accurately capture business transactions. And here is your company accounting book. I think it's going to show up, unfortunately, because it goes to another screen. But you should have the book that you've been working on this whole semester. And then you have your project summary report here. That again is not going to show up on your screen either. And unfortunately, with this, if it does show up, then it will um, it won't it will have to I will have to stop the recording. But anyway, you have the book, and it basically uh, is the format: introduction, process, financial statements. Kind of tells you what to do. So you have the workbook, which you've been working on. You've got the accounting data appendix here. Maybe this will show up. No, again, you'll need to pull these up, and you'll need to look at these. And it'll just basically show you everything that you had before, like the owner contributed 50,000 in cash to the business. So these are all journal entries that you should have already done, and really you're just completing your whole workbook. And so you're going to be uh, completing your summary report, adding your financial details, and you can see the rubrics down here should be accurate, should be complete. But this is the big project. This is what you've been working all semester on or all quarter on. Not sure what they call these. Um, and so you'll submit that by midnight. Again, make it professional. By now, you should have everything correct. And then you just do the normal problem set, finish this up. This is about 20% of your grade, so it is important to do it correctly. Again, make sure it's professional. Make sure you cover all of the key points that it says to cover, and you should do well.